Okay. Next up is my colleague, Anthony. And I'm assuming Anthony is here,
I
even
am
though
here.
I can't
I'm here.
see him. You're there. There you are. Okay, great. Where are you? I can't see you.
My camera's on.
Oh, there you are. No,
Yep.
you're on a different slide. You're on a different screen. All good. All right. Everybody, this is Anthony Bianco, Senior Business Analyst at CloseReach. Anthony has been involved in developing this solution for a client around project portfolio management. And I strong-armed him today into spending a little bit of time to show us what they've done, because we think it's a great solution and the client seems very happy. And we think that you will think it's amazing too. So Anthony, I am going to turn it over to you and let you start sharing.
So just a preface, this is a bit of a skeleton of the solution, as the prior solution was full of live data. So we wanted to show some of the core functionality that we've developed to help organizations track all of their projects and report on it. So something like this would be helpful to an organization that has a lot of project intake and a lot of projects to track and doesn't want everything in different places. So you have your system with all your projects, and then you want to report on them, but those reports need to be generated, then sent out. And as well as that, the projects, for example, are not exactly governed. They're sent into a certain database, and then someone has to go in and make a change or make a comment. So first step was getting projects under governance. So QualiWare has governance workflows for a wide range of objects, like change management for projects, or document management, or corrective actions. So in this case, we developed a governance workflow for projects, and a way to actually take in those projects right into the system. So you'll see here I have the desktop set up, and I just want to leave the compliance and process management desktops here. Just to let everyone know that, once you start using QualiWare to manage your projects, it doesn't mean the other management stops. We can still continue managing our compliance and our processes and our risk, and the management of our projects is just an add-on. So first things first, we are going to create a project. And here I have the out-of-the-box project attributes for you to fill out. So I'll fill out just a few of them. So I'll name this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something simple. Short description: roofs need placing on units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reason: hailstorm in May. There kind of was a hailstorm a couple weeks ago. So another thing we'll fill out, and remember, this is totally flexible. We can make this form say whatever attribute we want. So for the details, or for organization, I'm going to add a project manager. So I'll add myself, and a project organization, and that'll be Rental South. I'm just going to admit JR there. Okay, so from here, we're just going to say okay. And now, because I'm the project manager and I've assigned it to myself, I'm going to find it in here. And right here. So AA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is now the initial page of my project, where I can find all of the details on one page. And I'm just going to go up to the right-hand corner, and I'm going to hit this exclamation mark, and that's going to show me the automated workflow, or at least the example of one. So we're starting with, so the originator creates the proposal, and it's going to go over to an approver. So that can be a director for acceptance. And then it's going to go for environmental screening. So I just made an example step, so environmental screening, and that's another little functionality that we've created here. So QualiWare is able to store documents and manage documents, but we found a way if you have a form that needs to, let's say, always be completed during every project, we developed sort of a quicker way so that users can fill it out without having to even go to another page in QualiWare. So I'm going to send this for send to director for review. The director is able to edit and leave their comments, and the director is going to say keep price under, did I say 5 roofs under 220,000. I'll say they're big homes. Ready, apply. And again, the director's comments are captured right here. So as this is going through the automated workflow, your project is being updated with all of the relevant information that the next person would need. So then the director, the project director says proceed with project. And here we come to the environmental questionnaire. So you'll see beside the project information, we have environmental questionnaire with 4 example questions. So as the project manager, I'm going to select complete environmental questionnaire. And these questions come up for me. So you'll see that a user does not need to go to another document. They can just fill it out right from the project page. So will there be a land disturbance? Yes. Could their project impact local wildlife? Yes. Will the project generate hazardous materials or waste? Hope not. Could the project result in increased emissions? Yes. And then I can set an environmental authority. So this could be an organization. This could be a mailbox, but for this example, say we'll assign to me. I'm also the environmental authority, and we say okay. So you'll see that now the environmental questionnaire is actually attached to the project just from a click away. I don't need to open an external document in this case. I can just come right here and I can see all the details of the environmental questionnaire. So when I send it to the authority for review, they of course also have that questionnaire right here for them. So it's just making some additional use out of the content tabs that QualiWare provides and using them in an operational way, I guess you could say. So again, this can fit as many forms. If a project requires 5 different forms to be filled out throughout its life cycle, all those forms can be put right here across the top. So for the example, this is where our automated workflow ends. I just have this approve button right here. And again, if let's say there's information here that is, or as the authority, I think needs more review, I can create a function in here that allows me to send it back to the project manager with my comments or asking for additional details. So that is the sort of first element of creating our project portfolio management system, is getting those projects under governance. Part 2 is what happens to the projects when a change needs to be made. So we can utilize the change request feature that QualiWare already gives us, and we can start using them on projects. So if I'm a project manager, or let's say I have, if I'm a larger company and I have a rep for different clients, I can come into a list of projects that belong to my client, and I can create a change request. So create a change request on here. Modify order of sinks, let's say. I'm going to set myself as responsible, the PM. Description, we need an additional 2 sinks. So we already know what this change request is going to concern because we raised it right on the page. We went to project one, you'll see in the top left corner, and we raised a change request right against it. So we're going to save. And with everything in QualiWare, I forgot to mention during the workflow, you will be getting the person who needs to take action will be receiving an email saying, hey, the director has approved this project. Please complete the environmental screening questionnaire, let's say. So and again, as a project manager, someone raised a change request against one of my projects. They've put me as the responsible on the change request, and now that's going to appear here under my change requests. So I'm going to open that up, and here it is, modify order of syncs. So just because someone says there's change request needed doesn't mean that it's automatically going to get done. The change request has its own automated workflow. So it still has to come to me, and I still have to basically give my go-ahead by moving to the implementation stage. So I'll have it in handling. So right now it's in registration. And then once it's sent to handling, I'll have my information input. Maybe I'll need some more information from the person who submitted the change request. But the key principle here is that everything being done has a certain measure of control over it. So you'll see I've created a project manager desktop and a project director desktop. So the project manager may have a bunch of different reports only related to the projects that they are responsible for. They are the project manager on. They probably won't want their desktop cluttered up with what another project manager is doing. So they'll only see the stuff that they are currently tracking. And you can enhance all that with some charts. So your projects may have risks that you can raise right against the project, and then you can keep your own risk register of all the projects that you are responsible for and all the risks against those projects, as well as change requests. We can have these charts that maybe can help you identify a problem area. So in this case here, it's a small example. But for change requests, you'll see I have 3 in registration and 1 in handling. This lets me know if this were larger and the registration piece of the pie was getting larger and larger and larger, that signals to me that I may be missing something. So you can go into these charts, and then you can retrieve a report that's actually going to tell you which change requests are actually in registration and which are in handling. So it just signals to you visually that there may be a problem area, and then that allows you to go retrieve a report or a QRV where you can actually work on the problem and see all the ones that maybe are stuck in registration. On the project director side, they may want to see a overhead view of the business or of the projects. So project states, so they'll be able to come in here and see all the projects, who's the project manager on them, and all of their states. They'll be able to see all change requests in the system. So right now we've only raised a few of them, but they'll be able to see project clients. So this is going to be the project, who's the project manager, and also who's the client. And we can make these as detailed or as wide covering as possible. So something like this, you may have all in one report. You'd have the project, who's the project manager, what's their status, and who's the client. And again, something to just enhance this desktop or this view might be a pie chart showing all projects by client. So you'd be able to see very quickly are so many more projects being submitted by one client, and maybe that signals to you that there may be an issue with the client rep or something's going on in that area. And this is another one, just all projects and their PMs. Here I've added the risk, sort of a risk chart. So like I said, feeding in from risk management because everything is connected, right? So we have our risk management, but what are you raising the risks against? Usually we can raise it against process, but we can also raise those against projects as well. So you can see, you can keep a risk register. So maybe a project director may want to see all the risks in the organization connected to the projects that that the organization is working on, while the project manager would want to see only their risks. So are there any questions on managing projects with a governance workflow or using change requests on projects?
Quick question. I'm just like, I see the projects you've got there are more physical, if you want to call it that. Have you tried this with IT projects, you know?
Yeah, I mean the project can be, this is just an example. Like I just have it because I'm using physical projects because four of the clients or four of the org units inside of my repository are rental east, south, west, so they're a bit housing related. But yeah, project can be raised in IT fashion.
Yeah.
When you raise the project here, yeah, there's your description would change,
Yeah.
your organization, either
Yeah.
IT business partners.
Totally understand what you're saying. I'm just saying it'd be good to test the waters because IT projects tend to be, as Walter will probably state, we're both ex-CETA folks. You know, they can be convoluted. Projects can go away and be dormant for a long time, come back. A project can be completed but reopen and be updated. You know, things like that. So there's all kinds of scenarios, right?
Yeah,
In the
so
IT world, at least, probably in the physical world too, but in the IT world anyway. So I'm just wondering if you've compared it to, you know, what departments run in Clarity, for instance, right? A lot of the people use Clarity, for instance, as an example. So it was just curious.
yeah, so interesting you mentioned sort of going dormant because for we have an idea management solution here where we track ideas in the company. And yeah, you can create in the automatic flow to send something to a backlog. So you can send it or you can set it to dormant. You can even call it dormant and you can create a report. What are all the dormant projects? And we need to bring something back. You can simply change the state and bring it back to in progress, for example.
Yeah, I didn't mean that, only just that one example. I just meant
Yeah.
there's a lot of use cases, right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, thanks.
Right.
I know Bruce, Anthony, I know Bruce is on the call as well. And if appropriate, share any questions that the client had when you showed this or any comments that they had.
I think there's a question with a hand up.
Yes,
Is there?
this is Walter Securco, formerly of CETA, currently of Shared Services Canada.
Hello, Walter.
Hi, I am, my question is a little bit more complex in that, is there any way of flagging a project other than manually in the description, which deviates from the approved enterprise architecture, right? So this is an enterprise architecture tool, QualiWare, and we have a really nice software architecture, hardware architecture, enterprise architecture, and then somebody puts in a project which just goes completely against everything that we're doing as far as the architecture is concerned, right? Or in the case of a building, they're trying to create the top floor before building the foundation. Is there any way of automation, the flagging of this as this is ridiculous?
Having a giant siren go off?
Will a giant siren go off and say, you cannot build the top floor before building the foundation and the lower floors? Or in the case of architecture, you can't be doing this IT project because it violates the enterprise architecture that has been approved and is the latest and greatest in QualiWare.
So do you mean something automated beyond like an approval from someone?
Yeah, something beyond an approval, because let's face it, I mean, to say all projects are so complicated that sometimes the human mind just cannot grasp it. Like, I remember going to a director general for approval of an enterprise architecture design, and finally he said, I don't understand it, but if you think it's correct, I'll sign off on it. Like his mind was just blown.
Hmm.
And my mind is sometimes blown too, right? Like this enterprise architecture is so complicated that when a project comes along, I have a difficult time deciding, is this project aligned with the architecture or not?
Right. Yeah, without looking further into it, I don't know. I don't know an answer to your question.
Okay.
I think that, something like that, Walter, I get what you're saying, but there is a human element to this too, right?
Oh yeah, the
So,
human element is really important here, and sometimes it is the only thing that will save us from ridiculous stuff. I won't
hmm,
mention all of the ridiculous projects created by Government of Canada, Phoenix, for
okay, okay,
example.
okay, 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 okay. Time out, time out. But
Eh,
so Anthony, back to what Walter's point though, like aligns with maybe like Walter, we've got an approved enterprise architecture standard. Maybe when you're filling out the project, Anthony,
Hmm.
in the tool, you would have to align it to a particular
Yeah,
architecture or a standard or something like that.
right. Yeah, you could, I just can't think of a way right now for an alert to go off. Like, what's the
Right.
signifier for the alert to go out and say, hey, no, you can't do this?
yeah, and in fact, to be honest, I understand the difficulty of doing an automated alert for something as complicated as verifying that a project aligns with an enterprise architecture. But
Mhm.
thank you for the reply.
But thanks for the question too, Walter, because it's something
Yeah.
to consider.
Yeah.
It's something additional to consider. Now, I noticed that Samuel Bellon, Monsieur Bellon, you've got your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yep, I've got the list. Yep. Hello.
Oh,
Oh,
kind of cutting
hello.
out there.
Do you hear me?
You're cutting out.
You do, but your sound is a little bit choppy.
Oh, just give me a second here.
Mm-hmm. And then Dave, I do see you got your hand up, and Kirill, so we'll let Sam go first.
Okay. Yeah. Do you hear me without the camera on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
much clearer.
yeah,
Okay.
we
Perfect.
do.
Okay. I think my laptop is slowly dying. So my question about the environmental questionnaire added to the project, is it like attribute you added to the project object in QualiWare, or it's something external that you access within the project interface?
No, in this case, it's essentially a dialogue layout that is
Okay,
only available in, sorry, bring it up, which is only available in this governance state so that the person in the project manager can fill out once it gets to this state.
okay, perfect. But the environmental questionnaire is technically in that situation for all projects that you will create. There will be those for environmental question.
Exactly. There'll be a
Okay.
blank one for someone to fill out. But again, this is just an example. It can be any sort of questionnaire, any sort of, form to fill out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dave.
Hi, everybody.
It is.
I know this is probably comes up quite a bit, is how do you align IT projects to your architecture framework? And within government, I have the document right here from the TBS website, Treasury Board website. And the first page talks about the Government of Canada Enterprise Architecture Framework. And the first paragraph And this is BIAT. So, your business and information application technology security architectures. The enterprise architecture framework is the criteria used by the Government of Canada Enterprise Architecture Review Board and the joiner departmental architecture review boards when reviewing digital initiatives to ensure their alignment with enterprise architectures across business information, the BIATs, to ensure it supports the strategic outcomes. Now, what does that all say for you? This is the authority that each department within their architecture review boards must have the criteria, the guidelines that they're going to review the projects at each gate. There's no getting around it. And if they go to the gate, here's the guideline. This is what you have to bring and show us. Otherwise, you're non-compliant. And it's easy to show non-compliancy. You either have it or you don't have it. So it doesn't have to be something rocket science, and automated. It's all should fall under the architecture review board, departmental architecture review board.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Anthony, you're sharing your email and calendar, and
Dave was waving a paper around. I said I want to see this, so I put. I went back
okay,
to
no worries, no worries. Carol, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment going back to Walter's question. There is some capabilities in QualiWare that could semi-automate that process that you're talking about, Walter. You're talking about that sanity check or feasibility check on whether the project should be actually, be implemented in the first place. There is some of it, but some of it would be also addressed in 1010 with the new QualiChat and AI capabilities, because as per Kuna Brotherson, we will have the capabilities to essentially write down the question about the projects in your repository, and the system is going to give the reply back on what type of projects is that, and it's going to also will be able to give you the insights about those projects in your repository. So you would be able to have those insights and conclusions generated by the system at some point, and that will help you to make your decision whether you move forward with one project or the other.
Thank you. I think that an AI capability would actually be required to achieve that level of understanding of a project to an enterprise architecture. And I do recognize that the review boards are also critical in making sure that alignment occurs.
Excellent. Great.
The other part I was going to mention is that the project portfolio solution that Anthony and the team have developed, it's also, keep in mind, it goes just beyond enterprise architecture. What we are showcasing here, we are showcasing a management solution that could be utilized by some of the other groups as well in your organization. We are talking about project portfolio teams. We're talking about some of the other business management or business groups that might be interested in using QualiWare. And this is a great way for you to introduce them to QualiWare without, showcasing the architecture that we all know. Some people will get the architecture. Some people will ask, well, I don't know anything about architecture. Don't show me that. When you showcase something about project management, project portfolio management, this is a low entry way for them to understand QualiWare and how to maximize the benefit of it. So just my 2 cents. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So
JR. Sorry, who? Was there somebody else?
That was me. That was Mike Hart. I didn't have my hand up, so I'll
Go
let
ahead,
JR go, and
No,
maybe
no,
I'll
no,
put my hand up.
No. Go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to ask Carol, because I know that AI is coming to QualiWare. So Carol, as far as the particular questions that was asked of this program right now, would the AI that you understand coming soon to QualiWare be of relevance? And this is a question for Carol.
So whatever is coming up in 1010 from QualiChat standpoint the 1010, as per our knowledge, will be able to grasp some of the insights from your repository. So taking the number of projects you have in your system, and then you will be able to ask it all sorts of questions about your repository. It's going to give you the answer and should come up with certain conclusions and insights. So as per our preliminary, research on 1010 and the presentation by Kuno, I do strongly believe that it will be relevant to this solution.
Okay, great, thank you. JR.
Yeah, so it's in regards to the questionnaire. These are questions that are part of the project template, or are they somewhere else?
They're in a dialogue layout. So you could, through CaseMaker, put them on the actual project and make it its own dialogue. But for this example here, it's just a dialogue layout that's that just has the project set as the template, and it's commanded to come up in a certain state for a certain user.
Got it. Okay. We do questionnaires as well, and the problem is after a year or two, the client wants to go and change the questions. And like, you don't dare change the questions because you have, 100 projects over the last year that have answered yes and no to the land inheritance or distribution, and then they change it. It's like, well, it's a whole new question that you really got to do and then hide the old one. So that's how we've handled it before.
Yeah.
Did you ever get on the right, you got your edit and your create change request. Have you ever gotten a double edit, or if anyone has in governance? I've put a ticket in, I didn't get a solution. I thought maybe with you doing what you've done, you've ever seen, like you've edited it and you close it and it's like, there's 2 edit buttons here.
I have gotten double edit before.
I'm going to pick on you later then.
Yeah, call me later. It wasn't recent, but I think we can backtrack and retrace our steps.
Okay, I put a ticket in on it and it's like, I'm not getting anywhere. And I just thought maybe you would know, is this a bug or is it something that I have done? And to hear you've done it as well is just awesome.
Yeah, I remember it being something I had done.
Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Anthony, you should have left him thinking it was something he had done.
I love you too.
He's helped me too many times to leave him out like that.
I know. We got to help each other out. Okay, JR, let's follow up on that with the support ticket. We'll get Anthony to help you with that.
And I don't want to take a whole lot of time, Cecile, Bruce here. I think one of the strengths in the prototype that we really provided is it's not that we're doing it in the prototype. We know it's going to be fairly simple to take information from an existing SAP system and bringing in. So taking from the system of truth and bringing it in, we're taking from a couple of systems, bringing it in, and that's how it's being managed more so than there's a lot less. There's not a whole lot of beyond the initial intro project, just following it as it's going through, raise concerns if, contracts aren't being met when they should. So what we're providing, is that collaboration of the multiple systems, bringing it in and taking away a lot of the actual tracking work that they have to do, I think is a real strength of the prototype that we provided. And that's where they see a lot of the value is taking a lot of that time away. People have to actually be watching, tracking, reaching out, calling, a lot of, hey, can you update, can you update with this information? So it's taking it will be taking, if they give the approval to go, taking from a source of truth, updating the data, automatically flipping states within the project. So I think that's very attractive for it's, a lot of the manual intervention will be taken away, and it's just kind of keeping an eye on and getting at some of the more important work than updating something that, with information that, isn't always maintained very well. So I think that's the real intrigue of the prospective client on this one is providing that ability.
So it's going to be live connected to a system that is.
I wouldn't say live connected. It'll be feeds coming from, say, there's an SAP system and will be, it's called Drimus, and it'll be the solution is designed to have that information, whatever the way the integration will be, it'll probably be a feed from the source system, the system of truth into QualiWare to update that project information.
Yeah, it
Right,
could be
okay.
live, updated daily type of thing.
Yeah, in some fashion. Yeah, it won't be a
Right.
true connection, but it'll be an integration that'll be built.
Okay, great, thank you. Sounds very interesting.
And
How did the
could be
client
done with
respond when
other
they saw it?
systems. Could be done with other systems as well
Mhm.
in a similar fashion.
How did the client respond when they saw it?
They seemed they used the word blown away a couple of times, and we were quite proud of that fact. So we were very impressed, very happy with the reaction of today's meeting and one from 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah, the phrase "knocked it out of the park" was used several times.
yes, it was.
That's great. Good. Okay, thank you so much, Anthony. And the solution that Anthony was just discussing was developed. They were managing over 500 capital projects using an Access database. So this seems as though it's going to cut down on that overhead significantly. So that's very cool.